dun, 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 dun. Ah, that's what that is. Okay, so we saw Pacific Rim. Movie that everyone's been raving about. So,
Yeah, really.
Yeah, monsters versus robots. How could you go wrong? Well,
Giant robot, giant monster, and they just fight.
It
Yep.
looks like Godzilla.
Yeah.
rawr.
Shit gets knocked over.
Yep.
They didn't like those city structures too much.
Alright, so I guess we'll do individuals. So, Doug, you go first.
Alright, I think it was overhyped. Like, not that it was a bad movie, far from it, but it definitely is not, like, up to the greatness that everybody else says it is. If anything, it's better than other movies we've seen this year.
Agreed. I
Yeah.
mean, I thought it was a lot better than Man of Steel and Iron Man and a bunch of other stuff, but like,
yeah, I mean,
well, in terms of, like, it doesn't go past Star Trek.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me that level of excited.
It doesn't go past Much Ado, it doesn't go past it doesn't oh.
ADD moment.
Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't go past Star Trek. It doesn't go past. I'm trying to think of what other action movie I saw that I really liked.
Good Day to Die Hard? Yeah.
Nah.
I know it's a bit of a stretch.
Can't really. I mean, it has its badass moments, but like this one didn't really have any real action scenes that really made me like, whoa! Like, if anything, a lot of them made me feel sick. But, I mean, props to Guillermo del Toro. I thought he did a good job with it. So yeah.
Eric?
The one thing I noticed going into this movie was, like, I like looking at people's reactions on Twitter and Facebook, and I see that once again, it almost had that same polarity with Man of Steel, where people either really, really liked this movie or they really hated this movie, and I thought it was stupid.
I've yet to hear from anybody that they thought it was really stupid.
I mean, it was like their short initial reaction, but I'm just like, it's harmless.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, yes, one of the big complaints is it's very cliched, and in some ways, yes, but I think that just makes it a lot more fun. I mean, I've seen movies, I've seen the cliches done in other action movies. I've seen it done in like Commando. I've seen it done in like Commando and some like nature and some like other like natural disaster movies. But it's still fun though. It's harmless. I mean, yeah, some of the characters are kind of like archetypes from like other action movies. But I mean, it's like Godzilla. I mean, you got the giant robot, you got giant monster, giant robot. They're battling it out. I mean, there's some moments in there where there's not fighting, and they're good. I mean, they're good. The dialogue's okay. That one actor, Idris Elba, I think the guy's name is. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it. He was really good. I could see why people really like this guy. So, overall, like I said, it's it's harmless. It's fun. It's just a fun movie. It's just a fun giant robot battling giant monster action flick. That's all it is.
Okay.
And it's not really a turn your brain off action flick either.
No.
So yeah.
It kind of looks like it on the outside, but for the most part, it isn't. It does throw in some stuff in there about the monsters and stuff that kind of get you thinking. A little bit of sciencey stuff in there. So.
I gotta disagree with the exposition that I don't think there was a whole lot, because every time they would try and start another one of the whatever they're called,
The Kaiser Jaegers.
Yeah.
The Jaegers.
Yeah, the Kaiju. There we go. I went into this movie knowing nothing about the universe, so I mean, it was good for what it was, but every time they looked like they were going to start the exposition, then another kaiju came in and starts knocking the whole town over. So.
Right then, Scott?
Well, I sort of disagree with Doug. It does sort of surpass Star Trek Into Darkness, mostly because Pacific Rim is, well, unlike Star Trek Into Darkness, where it feels more of a remake, Pacific Rim feels like an upgrade to most, you know, robot shows you see on TV, and mostly in movies, specifically in all the Transformer movies. This is where it updates the style of simple robotic styles on robots. Even actually put so much
Effort?
no
Detail?
okay, detail one of them, but I mean it makes them very big. I mean any battle would be as big as Epic's size detail.
Alright.
That's something that most movies should actually do. Improve
Epicify stuff?
that on improve things such as the size thing, the mechanics, and possibly the monsters. And even the monsters look like more detailed versions of some of the past Japanese monsters, such as Barugan from Gamera, or that crab thing from Ultraman. Even that one dragon that can fly looked like something from How to Train Your Dragon if it was all dark.
Alright, so it's a nice callback, what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of an upgrade to that style of movie. Which,
And it makes sense because Guillermo del Toro is like a fan of he's like a big fan of all that, and I think this movie was kind of like almost like his homage to it in a way. And also, I really like and this isn't really much of a spoiler to anyone. I also love the fact that Guillermo del Toro threw in actress Ellen McLean as the voice of one of the robots' like computer systems, because he's also a big video game fan as well. And a lot of people immediately started speculating that it's in the same universe as like Half-Life and Portal because it has that like, oh, it's GLaDOS. But I think that's what I think what Del Toro was doing, like it's kind of like a homage almost to like to the giant monster movies, which is kind of ironic because they're doing another Godzilla movie coming out next summer, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, but I definitely want to throw, you know, Guillermo del Toro some credit. You know, the visuals were very good. Like, I was getting lost in how good some of the scenes were. Even if it was like a little thing, it was there. It didn't distract, but it didn't take away at all.
Okay.
It was, you know, it was nice. Really nice.
Said, I kind of agree with you, Doug, in that, you know, like, it's not as magnificent as people are making it out to be. Like, you know, it's this grand, like, blockbuster of the summer type thing. Because I wasn't, like, completely wowed by this, like, oh, this is totally going to change film or something like that. Like, no, it's like, I would call this, you know, like a monster versus robot movie done right. Because, I mean, again, I grew up, you know, watching Godzilla films, watching Power Rangers, and, you know, all that fun, you know, Japanese monster robot stuff. So it was fun to actually see, you know, like, updated and see, you know, these creatures that, like, because, again, I recognize a lot of the creatures, like you said, Scott. You know, they're all from, you know, different Godzilla movies and Gamera films and stuff. And it's cool to see how they managed to update everything. And I like what they did with the robots, with having how the people control them and stuff. It's a pretty unique thing. It's not like, you know, Gundam or other things where it's just one person just, you know, sort of like behind, like, the gears just moving like this. It's like two people trying to work together, which is pretty cool. So I like that. Like I said, the thing that kind of distracts it is that it's kind of cliched out the ass, and it borrows a lot from other movies. Like, it, like I kept like citing references from like Independence Day, from Twister, from Godzilla, and that's not really a good thing to do because those weren't really good films. But in a way, like, even though all the references are there, they kind of balance each other out. So it makes it, you know, despite the cliches, like a pretty good film. Said I enjoyed watching it. It was a bit slow to start, like a little.
and there are a lot of slow moments in it too.
Yeah, like ooh, Firefly. And yeah, like I said, the battles were a tad slow for my liking, because, I mean, after you seeing, you know, Star Trek and Man of Steel and all that, where everyone's like going, whew, 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 and then all of a sudden you see these robots going, punch, punch. It's like, come on, guys, move it along here. I mean, I kind of wish that we saw this in 3D, just because I have a feeling like it would be massive if we, like, it would, like, you would actually probably really feel the punches in that case. But for what it was, like, it is a massive film. It truly is, and it takes a concept that, you know, again, should be cliched out the ass, but makes it immensely enjoyable. So, yeah, I do like this movie. I definitely recommend it.
As do I.
As do I.
As do I.
And I.
So yeah, it's a nice recommendation from all of us.
It's pure fun. Mine saying that a movie is good is not the most ringing endorsement.
Yeah. But
I'm also a long-time fan of the Mummy franchise.
It's definitely the antidote to movies like Iron Man 3 and Man of Steel.
Agreed.
Yeah, so if that's anything to be said.
Well, I'm glad I didn't see those ones then.
Anyway, Cam, all the superheroes you described, those were normal-sized people. These are giant robots. Bigger than you are, just slower you are.
I know. I just mean it's just weird seeing, you know, quick effects and then really slow effects.
Maybe because we've been so used to, like, watching movies with just like such fast pace, like Star Trek and Man of Steel, and then we go in and we see something like Pacific Rim where everything is slowed down. It's like oh, we're not used to this because we've been seeing so many like quick paced action that, you know. But then again, it's also a breather.
Argue
it's also a breather. I think sometimes, you know, sometimes you need to slow down a bit, you know.
It kind of feels like, you know, the technology is in like the technology of the robots is still in progress. Like how, you know, it's only reached a certain level, so you would think that the robots or the technology could do certain things, but they haven't advanced to that level. Which is why I also want to mention, there's a lot of social commentary in this when you really get down to it.
When you think about it, yes. But we're not going to reveal that here.
Yeah.
But I will say this, I mean, as you were saying about, you know, the technology only got to a certain point, maybe it'll go further if they get to it, if they do a sequel, possibly.
It would be nice.
What we can say, without giving away too much detail, is that the defenses they try and mount against the Khonshu's is so ineffective, it's laughable.
We'll get to that much later.
That's
That's the social commentary.
When has a big giant wall ever stopped anything? It couldn't stop a monster. It couldn't stop a little girl from sneaking out.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Reagan smash.
Reagan sweet.
Getting conjured by my shitty wall.
So yeah.
I'm only imitating South Park. I'm not trying to be racist.
I know.
Yeah.
So yes, Pacific Rim. It is good. Go see it.
Essentially, the marshal is a crabby old man sitting on a rocking chair.
Yep. See this movie. We want sequels. Most importantly, we need to beat out Grown Ups 2 at all costs.
But hey, in defense, we've still got Despicable Me at the top, so...
Yeah, that's a consolation.
Yeah.
So this is all Crazy Crew signing out for now. Vlog to come soon.